How is
Oh,
everybody?
now you're off of me.
Okay.
Go right ahead.
How is everybody today? We are making it through this, and
Chugging away.
happy relief to some of the heat. At least it's gotten just a little bit cooler, and so
Mm-hmm.
we can smile a little bit more. And you know, when it's hot like it has been, people don't like each other.
Yeah, well, it's one thing is for sure. Toleration goes up on an all-time high, and patience goes down to the lowest that you could think of.
Exactly.
All right.
And when they're both out of balance, then you know it's gonna be kind of heated in various places. And so we're glad that we have some cooler weather. It seems funny to say that 90 degrees is cooler weather.
Yeah, it's a low 90s is what I was
Yes,
telling people. It's like,
but
you
it's
can enjoy the low 90s.
exactly, but it is much better. And we just want to say welcome to you and thank you for being here with us. I am Zare and this is Aymar, and we are taking the journey together.
You should tell also folks that our air conditioning is out this weekend.
Gosh, yes.
Mainly our fan was out.
It was the fan. I thought it was the motor. Okay.
Well, the fan motor.
Okay.
The motor has a fan on it.
Either
So it's
way,
really called a blower motor, to be honest with you.
either way, it was out.
Oh, yeah.
It was. And I do real well in the heat,
Mm-hmm.
but
I don't do very well.
no, you don't. You don't do well in the heat at all.
Mm-mm.
But
Mm-mm.
even outside, it was a little uncomfortable even for me.
Mm-hmm.
And that is something that is unusual. Very much so. But I was just really.
I'll put on some good music in the background.
Yes.
Maybe people listen to kind of relax you just a little bit. How's that?
Exactly.
Okay.
And I'm so glad that everybody is here with us, and hope you have, told your friends about us and invited them, given them the times when they can come on.
Don't forget your mates.
Yes.
And that's
It's your friends.
and your enemies.
That's your friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So that means you're also people who are not your mates.
Exactly. And all your friends, no matter what category they fall into.
Maybe some couples that you know of.
Exactly.
Excuse me for my rough looking today. I had to go out of the way to help fix the air conditioning.
Yes.
The cost that it would have been in the thousands. Trying to do the labor, the time, the rewiring of the blower motor because someone else put another blower motor in it, and there was no schematic to the wiring. A lot of other stuff that had to be done. So I had to go out of my way to try to fix that thing. We were without air for almost 3 days, doing the hottest portions.
I'm sorry, we were without air for more than that, and I was counting.
Yeah.
Because all over the weekend we did not have air.
Yeah, you're right.
It started, I think, when was it? It was like Thursday night, I think it went out. Yeah,
Good evening, Mr. David Banner.
Good evening.
Glad to see you here. I hope you got some air wherever you're at. And hopefully you're not in a hot place as we have been the last couple of days in Savannah, Georgia. It's cooling down a little bit, as Sharon was saying. We're being
weather-minded, I guess.
Weather reporters, right?
Yeah, with this heat, though, you can't help but be weather-minded.
So let's tell folks, before we get so lost into our conversation.
Yeah, I was just trying to wait until you were done.
Well, move on anyway. That's right for me. Okay. They want to hear from you too. What is our vision? What's our mind?
We are going to relate. It doesn't matter what mother, father, sister, brother, anybody says, we are going to relate. And in taking the journey together with you and inspiring people to relate in a balanced manner. And what that means is you get into a relationship and you build that friendship. And you start with the friendship and you build it until you have a committed relationship, continuing to build friendship. And then when you decide to get into a committed relationship, you are moving into a committed relationship with your friend and your lover. And that partnership will be one that is balanced and is moving towards a healthy, thriving relationship.
Say that 3 more times. No, I'm just joking.
Okay. Taking them.
I think the importance is we're talking about bridge statement from our last show. Last week was all about IQ. Emotional IQ or EQ. So the emotional IQ is more important than the intelligent IQ. Because we as human beings, if we're not intelligent, at least that's what some people feel, we're still going to be more emotional.
Yes.
Or be emotional, period.
Exactly.
So some people have high intellect but low emotions. Then some people who have low emotions have no intellect. But we may find that more people who are emotional probably over succeed all those who have that intellect. Getting the balance is what that's important. That's what the IQ was all about. Or the emotional IQ was all about. Just trying to get that balance. Getting that balance in relationship is important. Because of the fact that we are emotional beings. We have a frequency behind that. A frequency behind our emotions actually comes from, or the ones that activate lower or higher vibrations of people's souls. So we learn how to do some management, controlling them. I'm going to keep you awake right now.
Oh, no. Fall asleep. No, I'm wide awake. I'm definitely wide awake.
Why are you looking down there?
Oh, because something.
What was that about?
My foot touched something.
Okay.
And I was trying to check and see what it was. Because I knew it was a cord, but I wanted to make sure it wasn't something I was about to unplug. That was not going to be a good thing.
Let's see who else is here. Good evening. Someone else new. Mr. Scott. Good evening, Ms. Scott. How are you doing? Good to see you here.
Yes, welcome. Glad you're with us.
Exactly. So I want to let you know we're taking the journey together. We've been doing this for how long?
This show we have been doing for about a year and a half, maybe.
Year and a half?
Or is it 2 years?
It could be about 2 years.
Yeah, it could be about 2 years.
Exactly.
And the radio show that we do, we've been doing that for coming up on 4 years now.
Exactly.
Yes.
And we'll give you more of that information later on. Like right now, you can see the radio show on the bottom there, where you can actually go to listen to it. And at the same time, here was talking about it where we started first doing this show. Basically, they just heard a voice, and pretty soon people were saying, we want to see the face. We want to connect the face behind the voice to see if those faces behind the voice really match each other whatsoever. It's an AI being created. So.
And our Black media had an opportunity for us, and we are here doing that, and we love being here doing it.
Exactly.
ATR.
So what are we going to talk about today? What is going to, well, it's not ATR, but that's
I know, it's our Black media.
Exactly. So what is going to be our topic today, Miss? What's our topic? What are you doing?
My topic.
What's our
closeness.
Topic? Oh, closeness.
Yes, we're talking about
just
closeness.
to be close to you, girl. Who did that?
Lionel Richie.
Oh, Lionel Richie. Yeah. Extraordinary writer.
Yes.
Musician, and he's a judge of some show, if I remember.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he went to Savannah, Georgia with someone hidden when we were doing taking a journey. Our Unity Community in the Artists and Craft events. By the way, we do Artists and Craft event for the last 9 years down River Street in Savannah.
This weekend, one coming
exactly. Up. So they were having a hideaway someplace where we found out where they were judging folks for their singing. What's the other one that doesn't have that guy from out of?
It's not the Voice.
No, it was called something else.
Yeah,
I can't remember, but he was in town.
Wow,
getting someplace doing that. So I know where she, of course, he was, and the Commodores. Yep. Everybody knew about him. Prolific writer.
Yeah, he's written for a lot of different people in a lot of different genres. Yeah.
So you're going to talk to us and let us, because you did most of the studying. I mean, I used to do most of the studying. You whip the chain on me, make sure I get that study done right. So all you can do is sit there looking good. I do all the,
like a bump on the log.
you don't act like a bump on the log. So no, you don't look like a bump on the log. So no. But this time, this was something that you put together. And I haven't had a chance to really look at it closely. So we're going yeah, exactly. So we're going to let you go ahead and lead us and follow this matter. See what's about. In fact, I can do well. Yeah, that I really am worthy of being a close kind of person.
You are.
Yeah, that's what I thought. That's what I thought.
If we're being perfect.
Yeah, it's what we are.
That's all it
We're being hot.
That's all it
What's hot stand for?
Honest, open,
and transparent. That's one of the things you guys can learn. Strong motto is in your relationship, especially in a balanced, thriving relationship, you gotta be hot. I'm not talking about physical, even though that counts. But we're gonna talk. But the most important one is to be honest, open, and transparent. Again, honest, open, and transparent. That's the most important one. If we had a button here that we would show you, we have a button that you can actually order and get that money the money goes towards the radio station on this station here. And you can wear that button proudly that says hot on it. And then when people ask you, what does hot mean? You can tell them what it means and start a conversation.
Yeah.
But next time we're here, go ahead and let you see it.
Have one.
Exactly. We'll have it before.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
never. Don't do that, because I always like your input. And see, this is kind of hard for me because I'm so used to you leading, and I enjoy, you leading and me taking the follow-up.
And you're a teacher every day in high school, and they have to listen to you.
I know.
As you lead,
and that may be the reason why I'm looking to be led.
Oh, because you do that all day.
I do it all day.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, I have to walk in and get them going and rev them up and everything.
Yeah, and keep them entertained and everything else.
Yes. And this year I have 3 of the quietest classes
in the world
that has ever passed.
That's because you all the years you've been there, you deserve it. You've been sent out in the atmosphere. You sent out there in the universe. And as I'm older and I put all my time and work in, it's going to all be over after a while. And this all over after a while is all those hard-headed kids.
No.
Nothing to worry about them.
And the hard,
don't jump them up. Don't tell them up.
No, see, the thing, and that's not it. They don't. I'm the call and response type of teacher. I say something, I want you to give me something back. Don't just put all my energy out and get nothing back. And so they're just quiet. I'm finally getting one class to talk to each other a little bit. I'm like, what is this? I say, you can talk.
They'll get comfortable. Pretty soon they start talking, just like a little, some of the little kids and grandkids that we get around. They're quiet as can be. And then you start playing with them, you start connecting to them. Boom! They want to take over, talk, and want to stay on your leg and want to run around. You're like, get away here, kid, get away! I didn't even open the door like this. But let's move into this.
Yes.
And
so we're talking about closeness today, and a lot of people think that closeness. We're glad you're watching too. Welcome.
Glad to have you here. Glad to see you here. Good.
And and as we're talking about closeness, a lot of people think that closeness is I got to be up under your arm all the time, and and we don't need to say anything. Just let me be under your arm, and you take 2 steps, I take 3, or you take a step backwards. You have to look first to make sure you're not getting ready to step on me, or vice versa. That's not the closeness that we're talking about. We're talking about the closeness that involves intimacy, closeness. And intimacy is not necessarily, what does she call it?
Into me. That's what has been coined. I'm not the one that coined it, but someone coined that. They broke down intimacy. As an English teacher, what is that? What's the word for that when you break down a word like that to catch a meaning easily out of a word? Into me. That's what a lot of people look at. At least in the counseling area or the coaching area of the relationship, they call intimacy into me.
Yeah, and see,
which is good.
Yeah,
to say intimacy is supposed to be about that, right?
Yes. And it's I don't know what it's called in English. We break down syllables more than meanings, like a word that's there and break it down to a different meaning.
Okay.
So I'm not really sure what it's called.
It must be everything to do with the genius of creativity of playing with words.
Absolutely.
That's what I think.
Which is something I love. I love wordplay. Yeah. And that's why I like that intimacy.
Yeah. Take it with you guys. Into me. Intimacy is into me. Yeah.
And so, the intimacy is something that can be simply having a close conversation or something like that. But we're going to get into some of the other things in a minute. But real intimacy must be the very cornerstone on which a thriving relationship is based.
Oh, really? One of the cornerstones?
Yes.
Okay, because we know the main cornerstone that, in the old days when they built homes and built buildings, they had a main cornerstone.
Yes, the one that they put the date and all of that on.
Exactly. So we know in a thriving, healthy relationship, the main cornerstone is what?
Friendship.
Yeah, definitely friendship. So we're talking about one of the cornerstones that's on the three sides,
Yeah,
especially if you're doing
yes.
that.
You have friendship, and then you have intimacy, and da 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 da.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to say all that.
Okay. So
We'll get there.
closeness is one of them. Intimacy is one of them.
Yes.
Okay. Intimacy is one of them.
Yes. And so, so as we go through and we talk about this, we're going to start off by looking at a few ways that we can create or strengthen the intimacy in our relationship.
Okay.
And there's not very many relationships that says, you know, we're so strong in the intimacy world that we don't have to. That's something we don't have to worry about. We're great in that area. All relationships need to be updated. Need to have a little something extra. Sometimes need to have a little boost. And so, you know, even if you say, "Oh, the intimacy area, we have that all figured out. We've got a nice.
We got it locked up."
Yes, we got a nice balance and everything locked up. You can still do something to make that work better for you as your relationship changes and improves over time. You can do that. So, have you ever heard the statement? It's the little things that count.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm looking at something.
I know.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah. Don't pay attention.
I would have to because you're moving things.
Because you want me to get close.
Exactly.
Sorry about that. Let me get one more thing done. As you're getting close to me.
I'm getting very close.
I like that. Thank you very much. Okay. Paying attention to your partner and making them feel extra effort. That's the first one. Looking at your notes. And I failed that one, didn't you? Didn't I? Excuse me. I said you. That was a Freudian slip. That was my slip. I said you, I meant me. The first one was, I had to take care of something. I've got to engineer the boards with the same.
I know.
I'm sorry.
Sometimes things can wait.
No, not that good. Because if you wanted me to also read your notes, I couldn't do that. I can do it on the top of my head. I know that. But these were your notes. You put this together.
Yes.
So that's why I missed the first one. So paying attention.
Well,
now you have my undivided attention.
Okay.
I'm looking at you right now.
Thank you.
Undivided attention.
That's how it works.
You did that a couple of times with me before. Right asleep, I'm talking to you.
Oh, I have. And I feel so bad about it, but
I'll be mad.
And you know what? And most of the time I'm mad too.
I couldn't tell the way you look.
Because I'm interested in it, but I'm just so tired and sitting in that one place. It's hard for me to.
Oh, you blame it on your job?
No, I'm blaming it on the fact that I don't get enough rest.
Oh, okay, that's what I was going to say, because you think what I'm saying, I'm talking about is boring.
No, it isn't.
Oh.
It's very interesting. You have some very interesting concepts and things that you talk about.
I am glad she actually said that. She's saying it now because she's on the show. After the show, she would never say nothing like that. She really won, folks. Don't believe it. She don't. I just make her on the show say things that she shouldn't be saying when you're not on the show.
Yes, you pays me well.
That's funny.
But seriously, you talk about some very good things and some very interesting things. And I'm always off into them. Now I tell you, sometimes when you go off on those tangents about schematics and things like that. Okay, now that is not the time when it's not just like my fatigue.
Been in the military, working on large electronic computer stuff, and how to run to and all those kind of companies. Yeah. So that's what I did most of the time. So it's kind of like a habit. And then trade skills.
Yeah.
I really apologize. And that's another thing to think about. Your communication skills or closeness has to be custom in such a way that the other person wants to feel comfortable in being close to you.
Yes.
And we're not talking about it physically, even though it's important. What if you have a conversation that's too deep for that person, or is not on the same page, and you're not, we call it vibing, which is another good term, resonating together.
Exactly.
Then that person is gonna, while you're talking here, and you go, they're gonna pay attention at all.
You get that overload point, and your brain just shuts down and says, no more. I can't take it anymore. I'm done. And then it goes into rest mode.
Exactly.
And That's it.
So closeness is not just physical, which will be going on. Closeness and paying attention is, as we just brought up, paying attention to see if your partner is really listening.
Yes.
Even though good listening skills is important, but paying attention if your partner's really listening and really speaking that they really want to hear you or hear you.
So they're engaged.
Exactly.
Yes.
Don't do it when they're real tired. That doesn't work.
Right.
Don't do it when they're watching their favorite football show, because that doesn't work. Or if they're watching like you, watching your favorite cooking show, even though it works for you, because I like to watch it.
Yeah, yeah, and that's very important. But don't go over their heads. It's like, figure out where their level is, and talk to them later.
Exactly.
Because yes, I love you and I love your knowledge.
Exactly.
But I can't keep up with it.
That ain't gonna work, because you do the same thing to me, coming from your education background.
I just
because you have so many different degrees in college than I do, so you like to sometimes, kind of tug over my head with your question team, and be so emphasis to me on certain things that I'm not pronouncing correctly. So that does happen. Yeah, it does happen sometimes.
Okay, I'm a word person. I've been a word person all my life, even before I was teaching.
Yes. Yeah. See him again. Okay, so let's see him again. How's that?
Yes. Yeah, I've been a word person from even before that. I've loved wordplay and learning new words and all of that. It just excites me, and so that's kind of like my fun point. But I do believe that paying attention is important, and I hate when I hit my threshold and you're still going strong with discussing something.
Once you get into some of the simple things,
and that's what I was getting ready to do.
I thought so.
Paying attention to your partner and making the extra effort to do small things that will mean a lot to your partner. That is, those are some of the little things that lead to closeness.
Yeah.
For example, you love ice in your water. I don't. But anyway, and I know this, and you like the water really, really cold. And so, like today, I noticed you were low on your water, so when I went into the kitchen to get something else, I got you another cup of ice water and brought it to you. The little things. He didn't ask for it, but I noticed that it was needed. And that's important. So those are little things.
Yeah, and I think it's important for us guys, especially. Like I said, I felt a little brother today. I really should. Last time I'm going to play. I think that's important for us guys, especially guys who work out with their hands, or they work a lot with their mind, or they even sports-wise that might be involved with that. I think it's important for us men to understand, though we like to do big things, big toys, big boys, all that stuff we can kind of push to do. And some of us African American males have been snowed underneath that from that particular we need to understand that the emotional side of the human being, emotional side, especially of yourself, and of course your mate, if it is a female, there's that sensitivity and emotional side that to connect to them, to be able to reach out to them, to be able to, how can I say, really communicate to them at that level, means it could be at a small thing. In other words, they may not think that a large thing like you would make them feel happy. Now we're now getting into what you call the love languages. There's no doubt about it, but I don't want to get into love language right now. But this is another area in closeness we need to understand, because your mate may think a close thing like a card, that might be going ahead, or a flower, or you putting an umbrella over her head, usually women now, and your mate, getting a car. It's something that touches them deeply. You are like, whatever, I'll make no difference whatsoever. Not knowing that it does make a difference. So these things that we speak to you about to do, not that you have to, but some of you run across the door. These are about trying to upgrade. This is all about trying to bring balance. This is all about trying to bring healthiness into your relationship. That's what this is all about. So please take it that way, that's what we're doing, some of our experience and some of the things we're looking to, especially because we are life coaches or relationship coaches. So we know these kind of paths will help your relationship to expand and get better and strengthen, right?
Yes.
And bring you closer.
Exactly. It's like one day we were walking on the beach, one of the things that we love to do, haven't done enough of. recently because of our schedule. But we were walking on the beach one day, and I'm always looking for shells and things. But this particular day, I don't know why I was not really deep into the shell picking up. But you looked down and you found the shell as I was kind of playing in the water. And you brought it to me and you said, "What do you think about this one?" And it was a very pretty shell, a very different shell that at that particular time I wouldn't have even thought to pick up because my mind wasn't even there. But when you gave that to me, it was like, oh my gosh, this is really nice. And I really appreciated the fact that you knew how much I like different shells. And that started me as we continued to walk the beach to looking for shells. And you're like, you didn't even bring anything to put them in, did you? No, I didn't even think about it. So what'd you do? Put them in your pocket. Now that's a little thing, and to me that was very intimate. The sharing of that shell that you found that you knew I would like, and the fact that you offered your partner to put it in, that meant a lot. I mean, because otherwise I would have been holding them in my hand until I dropped them. But you didn't even think about that.
There's an example. That little thing I did means a lot to her. What a leverage. A little simple thing I did, and you get a whole mountain of information and feelings that comes behind it, folks. So if you want to leverage love, in this case with your mate, do a little thing and you'll get a lot out of it. I learned that. It works.
It does. It does.
You have to listen to her laugh if she plays it back like we did in this case. But if she doesn't play it back, just know from this example, she took a lot of it in. So what about a little thing with guys? Do we care about it, or do we really think about it whatsoever?
Oh yeah.
Oh,
you definitely
do. So if you do a little thing for me, you think I care anything about it?
Yeah. Like if I walk out and we're going someplace and I grab my key and say I'm driving, that means a lot.
You don't do it enough.
I don't. But when I do it, it means a lot to you.
Okay, so hold on. Can you allow me to say what I think that you do, that I do, or that you do that small, that I think is important to me?
Absolutely.
Even though I know you're doing this particular element, I don't always leave it on my side either. But let me at least kind of.
What you asked, the way you traced it, I thought you were asking me for an example.
No, I wasn't. I didn't say that. I would have. Excuse me, not the could have. I would have. I meant to.
Yes.
But no, that's not what I said. Okay, so here's my example. Then we're going to go to a commercial. When you, I just had it in my mind. Sorry. Oh, I know when you go back and put butter on my bread, or you come back with the barbecue sauce. And I have to get up from the couch.
And I remember to put salsa on your eggs.
Exactly.
Yes.
Now that, folks, to other folks, that's a small thing, but that's a big thing to me. And it really makes a difference. I feel all warm. I feel good. I feel like I want it. And it makes that food taste so good.
It goes warm, fuzzy.
Exactly. I'll be honest with you. It goes all the way back to, wow, this is something. It goes all the way back to, I can see it right now, my mom. My mom did the same thing for me in life. She probably did with the other kids. Excuse my brothers and sisters, siblings. I probably didn't pay no attention. Now I think I probably did. But yeah, she would do that because I would sit many times to watch TV with her.
Oh, wow.
And not only will I have to always get that for her, but many times she would have it with her and says, do you want to use this? Do you want to have this? Do you want to put this on it? I'll put it on it for you. So there's a depth behind it. Well, I won't go on as long as as many words, but just know behind your leverage of doing it, there's a lot of information behind it. How's that?
Wonderful.
There's memory behind it.
Yes.
Okay. So we're going to go to our commercial, folks. So be with us, and then we'll come back and we'll be talking more about closeness, the important part that you should have in your relationship. Okay? Here we go. right. We are back. We are back. We are back.
And we were sitting here doing some closeness talking
Mm-hmm.
during the break, and we're back again.
And hoping that you have.
Yes.
Hope you got with your mate, got next to them, and start talking some closeness talking
Yes.
that you could do or you should do. Because all the stuff we talk about is not something that we do or going to actually implement, but for something for you to do
Yes.
and put in your life
Exactly.
so that you can see how it could be a good additive, a good spice. Cake on the ice cream.
And hopefully the
cake
things that
on the, hold on. I said cake on the ice cream. I said cake.
I was gonna let it ride.
My dyslexia. Keep back again.
I was gonna let it ride.
Okay, go ahead.
Because we knew what you meant.
Okay, thank you.
Good. But I was getting ready to say that the things that we talk about, the examples we give, and things. What we hope is that sometimes it opens up conversations between you and your partner, so that you can start reminiscing over some things that you have done. And I'll bet you've probably forgotten about that shell, didn't you?
Yeah, I didn't even think about it.
But I still remember.
Yeah, little things that do mean a lot.
Yeah.
Next one we'll talk about is buying.
What?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, buying. I'm looking at your notes right now. Buying things.
Yeah.
And we're not talking about big things. We're not talking about very expensive things. The small things. Again, the example we're trying to give you as something you probably never heard before, something's new for you, is that small things have a lot of leverage because they package so much in it. You can use the old adage, biblical adage, if you want to, about the tree, you know what? The mustard seed.
Yes.
That a mustard seed actually, grows some of the biggest trees that you can think of. Of course, most trees start with seeds. But anyway, so we're talking about the same thing in your relationship. We're talking about the concept of energy friendship. That's connected to love.
Yes.
So that energy is expansive and it can transition itself or move itself in different forms. That little package, that little thing means so much.
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
It does. Don't necessarily give your partner what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Rather, take some time to consider the things that matter most to your partner. It can be very simple, like bringing your partner a cup of coffee in the morning, or taking the children for a while to let your partner do something he or she enjoys.
Mm-hmm.
Giving the little things to your partner lets your partner know that you truly see him or her and that you care about his or her experience.
Exactly.
And that is so true. It's like, I remember just a few days ago, a few weeks ago, during the summer, when I was working on, I was starting a new book, and you said, I said, I need to take about an hour to get some writing done on this book. And you said, okay. I said, and then we're going to do whatever we're going to do. And it ended up, I said, call me when you're ready to do that. Thinking, in about an hour.
By the way, scrolling on the bottom, you can know about more than taking the children.
Oh, yes,
talk about
to do that. Yes.
Yeah, so finish the story, because take a look at it and find out more about it just by looking at the bottom.
Yes.
Hey, I forgot to turn my phone off. Oh, shit, I apologize.
And so it ended up, you left me with that quiet time, for concentrating time on starting this book for about 3 hours. And I got so much done, but I so appreciate it, because truly an hour was not going to be enough. But I was going to, just take an hour just to get something done.
Where were you at when that happened?
We were at Diamond Lakes.
Oh, yeah, we were RVing.
Yes.
At that, I don't know what I was doing, but I needed your attention within those 2 hours. Or if I did,
obviously you didn't, because you just left me to write.
I'm probably doing something on the computer from there.
Yeah, but
enjoying myself.
But you just, I appreciate the fact that quiet time when you're writing, that's one of those things that's important. And I was really, that was a small thing that I appreciate you giving me.
Well, we were talking about actual physical things.
Yeah, well, that was because I had the book right there. But you
didn't give you the book.
No, but you helped me find it.
Yeah, but we're really trying to be a little more specific.
Okay.
Yeah, I know the thought was count.
Yeah.
So I've not given you anything. I'm what you're trying to say right now.
That's what feelings that you're always giving me.
Oh, that's the problem.
Yeah.
I don't make that little thing. Folks,
No.
brothers, I've been giving her too many things. Buying her too much. I've been buying this lady's love. And that's how it comes down to. Today, I stopped buying her anything. And let's see if I get that love back in return. No more. No more.
Thank you.
Okay.
That is perfect. That is wonderful.
Okay.
You know what?
I saw some shoes.
That's okay, baby. I have enough shoes.
So yeah, you do, don't you? We're talking about little things.
Little things.
Okay, that we can pick up. There's one thing that you do. Let's put it back on.
Okay.
I'll ask you, what is a little thing that
So what is a little thing that you do?
No, you.
What, yeah. What is a little, my Freudian slip, I'm repeating it. What is the little thing that I do?
There you go. There's a closeness. Goodness. Sorry.
I know.
Little thing that you do and you did was book cards. The traditional thing.
Yes.
You bought cards. You sit up once in a while about lunch. And being a English teacher and a writer, how much more becoming would that is cards?
Yes.
And you take your time out to get some cards once in a while, but they're very touching. I could tell you read them. I could tell that you sign your name. You don't scratch out any of the faces, put other smiley stuff in, like my mom would do when she bought cards. I don't know what that was all about.
I don't know.
When she did that, I was like, Mom, at the end, why don't you just write your own card?
Yeah.
Put it together yourself and then send it to me. I'll give it to you. Strange. But the thought that counts.
Yes.
They say the thought that counts. But cards are important. I think they help us in our day, especially those who do a lot of reading, whether it's on the internet, whether it's something physical in your hand that you're reading, that you are reading. Many times you're not really reading anything that's intimate and personal to you.
Right.
Okay, you mean they read about some person and someone else, or something went across that, hey, it's personal someone. But in this case, when it's someone who's with you, that sees you, it's been around you, and supposedly know a lot about you, it becomes even that much more better.
Yes.
And it's another area of closeness.
Yes. Yes. And I can tell you something that you do get from me.
Mm-hmm.
And it means a lot, because I'll come home from work and I'm thinking, okay, now I've got to go in here and make dinner. Let me see what I'm going to make for dinner, which is something fun that I do enjoy doing.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of creating some kind of, I wouldn't call it masterpiece, but some kind of piece of mastery for me at that moment. No, that's what I said. I love doing it, and I love creating something, not necessarily going by, this recipe or that recipe, just kind of building something. And I'll come home sometime and not really feeling it, but I know we got to eat, and we got to eat healthy. And you have been out during the day, and you have picked up some food, so that I don't have to cook when I get home. And that's good, because it seems like you can always tell when I'm just really exhausted, and it's sitting there. And that's one of those little things.
Well, I'm so glad that I picked the right food.
Me too. Me too. And at some points, if it wasn't the right food, I'd eat it anyway, because it's a talking count. But anyway, let's back up a little bit and tell them where they can find us.
Okay. Well, it's just been going back.
I know, but just to say it.
Go ahead.
You can email us at ttjt@takingthejourney-together.com. We're on Facebook at TTJ Together, and we're on Instagram at instagram.com/takingtheJ together. And so,
if you want some, keep it for real, down to earth coaching and a direction in your relationship where you are trying to build it, you are trying to remodel it, you are trying to have it expand so it's more healthy and it's more balanced, please give us a call or In this case, email us. We'll be glad to help you or whatever task or whatever path that you're trying to move on to give you some more information. Also, stay tuned. We're going to be doing another what we call WOW retreat. You get a chance to meet us personally. We'll try to sometimes, hopefully, do that sometimes, stream it live while possible. But most of the time, it's going to be something physical.
Yeah.
You as a couple could come to a special place. We're working on the cruise. We're working on a special place in the mansion. At different spots that you can go to, at retreat places you can go to. 4, 5, 6, maybe 10 couples at the most, maybe that many. Something intimate where you can get some real personal knowledge and information to really boost that relationship and strengthen it on the path that you're trying to go, especially if you're trying to build, especially if you're trying to expand outside your relationship, whether it's business, whether it's with family, whether it's on your job, or maybe it's a venture that you're trying to get involved yourself in doing. But in your relationship, you need more of that strength to connect it together so that you can accomplish it and move and make that happen together. These are some of the things, and these are the information and knowledge we can give you to help you with it. And right now, it doesn't cost you anything; it's free. So, what better is that? Because we know some of the stuff you talk about now, it would cost you. You'd have to go someplace and pay for it, and pay a lot for it. But on Our Black Media, you get this information free of charge. It'll be a blessing for you. And we really want you, because of that, if you get a chance, we want you to go to Our Black Media. This is a place you can find it. Facebook, right? What else does it say?
In case you're, well, I don't know.
Well, you can go to our Black Media, but you can also go to where else? Roku, yes. See us also there.
YouTube. Or Roku TV. And you need to like and subscribe, and please do support Our Black Media. It's important for us to be able to stay on, for you to continue to get this information. So definitely support Our Black Media with a donation.
Where's the donation? Yeah, Cash App right there. Donate it. We Black folks need to support one another when it comes to information. When it comes to us trying to lift each other up, they say a rising tide rises all boats. We are part of that rising tide that's trying to raise the boats of relationships, old or young, especially the younger ones who are trying to move into an older relationship. We're trying to rise in your relationships here. We have to face some of the bad stories, the abuse, the letdowns, the high rate of divorce that comes along, because you don't have certain techniques, certain elements, certain ways that you can carry with you, take with you, and make that relationship better, or use it in your relationship. Or as an old preacher told me one time, you can put it in the deep freezer and one day pull it out when you need it, because your relationship is not going to be perfect anyway. It doesn't exist. But you're going to go through battles and struggles. And if I told you on the spiritual side, if anyone that or not, that they're actually there to make you better. Because in the first place, since there's no such thing as perfect, you ain't perfect in the first place. I'll say it again. You're not perfect in the first place, and neither is your mate. So these problems we go through are there as a challenge to help us get better. That's what they are. And luckily in your relationship, you take it as a friend, she or he is there to personally be your advisor, personally be your counselor. Personally, I also sometimes be a pain in the ass, but anyway, personally be someone who's going to help you out in areas that you can't see of yourself so that you can get better. And that's what this is all about when you're in a healthy and in turn balanced relationship. It's better than have to take all that money out to find a counselor to help you out all the time. Or divorce.
Work with what you have.
Love the one you with. That's that one song years ago. I forgot to make that song.
I think so. But the next thing that we're going to look at as far as closeness is concerned is eye contact.
Eye contact. Was that eye contact or was that eyeballing?
We were eye contact.
Okay. In the military, that was a big no-no. And I've been in the military from years ago. I'm not even talking how old I am, but
25.
Exactly. The TI, that's what we call it, the training instructors. I had a little short one named Sergeant Akabudi. It was 5'4", but he could shout. He could let out energy bigger than someone with 7 foot. He didn't seem like he was scared of nobody. those short sucker, right? That's what I call him. And he called me in many a times into the bathroom, just screaming all over me. Why are you in here? Why are you doing this? You're all right. Yada, 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 yada. But the one thing I remember about it was that, what were we talking about?
Eye contact.
Was that eye contact to him, at least, could have been the other ones, he did not like at all. If you eye contact him, he would say, what are you eyeballing me for? For what reason eyeballing? I asked you to stare at me. And this would be all the time, and guess who was staring? He was staring at you. That's a psychological thing at the same time. I didn't want to bring that up.
Yes. Eye contact is so basic, and yet we can get so immersed in the day-to-day to get this fundamental practice and begin to literally live parallel lives.
Yes.
And and eye contact is very important. And I don't know what it is, because when we're in the house and we're talking, I do a lot of eye contact. When we are in the car and you're driving,
don't at all.
I am watching what's going on outside.
She is one of those seat drivers on the driver's side that just look straight ahead. She just looks straight ahead. You could talk about it. You could talk about the skies falling down right in front of her on the side of me. She still looks straight ahead.
But I will talk. I will.
I know, but
I'm looking.
You're reading what you just read.
And I don't know what that is. Why it's something about in the car.
Did your mom tell you when you were talking? Shit, look ahead. Don't look at me. Don't be eyeballing me.
Mama didn't drive. Well, she drove. She didn't have a car.
So where'd you get that? Most folks who talk intensely or get talked to intensely, they have no problem looking at the person, especially if they're not driving.
But now that you mentioned that could be where it came from, because I was always in the back seat.
Okay.
And so no matter what was going on in the car, I was looking out the window. So whoever is driving and Mama, they would be talking and whatnot, and I'm looking out the window, I'm watching what's going on. I'm reading the signs, the billboards and stuff like that. And maybe that's where it came from.
Well, you're reading the signs today that's not being.
I know. I know, and I am working towards putting that as a conscious thought in my mind. I'm in the car, look your way, because, and then the other thing is like, yeah, but I want to see the scenery, and maybe that's, I don't know.
No, I think that's probably it.
Yeah.
A balance is always what we refer to.
Yes.
I understand that you get what it means for the city, because I'm sure I am in the front row dash. I'm looking outside the city. Of the glass, and I look around too. But we're talking about that in this case, balance in the car, and therefore you're trying to build a closeness to that side.
Yes, at least
I can stop every day. Every time we drive, let's go hug a tree if you're going someplace. I'll stop and look at a sign and say, I saw the sign, and write it down and talk about it. That could be possible. I probably won't make it, but
I probably would want you to.
Oh, okay. Then look the other way, which would be this way. I think one of the important things that has to do with looking to is there is an old spiritual setting, a wise saying, and a philosophy saying goes way back. That's to do with eyes. What is that?
Eyes are the window to the soul.
Yes. That's why when you see each other and look at each other, then you are able to look and sense that person's essence and feelings. In fact, one of the things that we do in our events is we do a little, just tell you a little bit of it now, so when you come, you'll be able to know it. We do that eyeball, staring at one another.
Yes.
We have couples just stare at each other, like they get a chance to look into the very soul. Many couples have never did that really.
Right.
And this is the first time they actually sit down face to face and look into each other's soul to see if they connect. Some of you could tell that if they looked at too long at that couple or that other partner they've been, you could tell that their thought and through their body languages, this person don't like me. Yes. This person don't know me. Or the other way around, I don't like them.
Yes.
And so that's one of the reasons why Holly don't look at each other. because they know if that eye contact comes, those negative feelings will come. Sometimes it's a very positive thing.
Yes.
And they've been, how can I say, shy to say anything. And so they won't look at each other just because of that. I won't look at
and then there are those who have never thought about it, never done it, and feel so uncomfortable that they just start laughing.
Yeah.
And when they laugh, they kind of turn their head a little bit. They cannot maintain that eye contact because it's so new to them.
Yes. Are you speaking to you? Because every time you call it this, but
no. That's just some of the couples that are at.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. That one couple that, if I remember,
I've never done that with you.
Yeah. I remember that one couple. Now that I think about it, that she was more talkative to him and he was more shy. Remember?
Yeah.
But before the show or the event was over, remember how they were looking at each other, laughing between one another?
Yes.
And what was the thing that he did that really made every one of us laugh?
Oh my gosh!
It was one of the sessions we did at the end.
Yes.
They were trying to guess what other couples would say because we're not going to talk about details. It was a game we did.
It was. He had to guess what she would say.
Exactly.
And what he said was so. He wouldn't say what he thought she said, but he said something. He made up a word to go with it. That's what it was.
Exactly. So nobody would be embarrassed. He wouldn't have been embarrassed, and she would have been embarrassed. And at the end, everybody was embarrassed for giving that answer.
But it was hilarious, and so that was a good thing.
What was the answer, by the way? What was he supposed to say? What she liked? Not getting up. I think that's what it was. Yeah. And everybody knew what the answer should have been.
Exactly. But he didn't want to say it.
He didn't get to a car, get a cup of coffee.
No, he said something like, take a walk.
Exactly.
He said, take
and
a walk.
Everybody just bust out laughing.
He said, go for a walk. So now the joke was, the catchphrase was going to be, let's take a walk.
Everybody talked about that. Everybody knew she meant more sex.
Yeah.
That more love.
Yeah.
And it was just funny.
So it was.
Those things. And they made eye contact with that one. Yeah. But her eye contact was like,
I don't believe you said that.
And he busted out.
And he was kind of like, I don't believe you just put that out open either. But it was funny.
Yeah. So eye contact is important.
Yes.
Because we have to have what? Intimacy.
Yes.
You cannot have intimacy without eye contact. I'm gonna say this again, and you're gonna hear it too, because you heard it too. But you're the one that made the notes too. So
yes.
You cannot have intimacy without eye contact. Can you have intimacy? Yes. Touch, words, but if eye contact is not part of it, you are not pleading. You are not fulfilling all that what? Intimacy. So let's do it backwards too. If you want to do if you want some intimacy, and you can't just do the touch, the text, all the stuff we're going to talk about. Guess what? It's a way to get intimacy. Eye contact. You can use eye contact. Now, some will, yes, eye contact. Glance across the room to you, okay?
Yes.
On the phone, maybe you get on the phone and you're seeing each other with and you do an eye contact. She comes in or he comes in today, and you use that eye contact.
Yes.
Those things are very important. That's very important. We're getting near to the end of the show.
Oh, wow, already?
Yes. We got about another minute.
You're going to have to find a way to add another hour onto it.
No, well, y'all want another hour, you have to tell us. I actually have to tell the owner of the station here, and he'll let you know from that end. And maybe so.
It's just, it just goes so quickly.
It does.
And we enjoy spending time with people that we get to do this.
Yes.
So
it's a wonderful thing.
So let's just finish this up real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Eye contact is essential, and it can be so intense that it has led people to describe it as having a wonderful other soul. Make it a point to slow down and look at your partner when you are speaking to one another, which is one of the things that having dinner used to do until phones and tablets and things like that came into play. And now the only contact you have a lot is with what's in your hand, instead of what hand you can hold.
Exactly. Well, I think that's a good place to actually end that.
Yes.
So do some more intimacy, more closeness. Don't close your eyes while you're driving, especially. But until we hear back from you, take care, be at peace, and Ashe. Next week, take that journey together.
Like this.